Good evening to all. Today I am going to discuss with module number 2 in the design of steel structural elements. Module number 2, that is welded connections. So first part in that welded connection is introduction. So the introduction, what is welding? So welding means it is the process, or welding is the process to unite two various pieces of metal by creating a strong metallurgical bond. So that is the definition of welding. So welding means when there are more number of structural members we want to join. So they are joined by creating a strong metallurgical bond. So this connection is called as welded connections. So this bond is achieved, or weld bond, due to welded connection. This bond is achieved by heat or pressure or both. So that means it may be three types. This bond is going to be achieved by heat or pressure or both. So this one, that welded connection or welded joint, is most efficient and direct way of connecting the metal pieces. So if you go in detail with the introduction, so what happened before the few decades? The designers had the feeling that welded connections were less fatigue resistant, and also they have the feeling that a good quality of welded connection could not be made. So this was the feeling. That is the few decades ago. But these negative feelings had a greater impact on the use of welding in the structure. So due to this wrong feeling, or you can call it negative feeling, use of welding in the structures was not made much. But due to the progress in the welding equipment and also the electrodes, and also there is advancement of the science and art of designing the welding, and it has increased the trust, and it came to the acceptance of welding, have combined to make it a powerful implement for the expansion of construction industry. So what is the point here is, due to the advancement of the technology in terms of advancement of equipments, the electrodes, and the art and science of designing the welding, all these things have given a new direction, and that's why it has powerfully implemented for the expansion of the construction industry. Further, what happened? The economics inherent in the welding help to offset increase in the prices of material and cost of labor. So due to less number of labors and also the welding equipments, this has also helped in the welding economics. In addition to this, the shortened production cycle made possible by welding have helped effect a quickening in the pace of a new construction. That means, especially in the steel structural construction, the time which has been shortened. So welding, that's why become increasingly important as more people acquire a greater depth of knowledge and experience that goes with it. So as the more times gone, due to increase in the advancement and also due to the increased knowledge, increased knowledge both in people who acquired the greater knowledge and experience. So today, most of the regulatory agencies and government departments accept, or in fact, prefer welded joints. So compared to bolted joints, also have number of advantages, also some of the disadvantages. So there are more number of reasons, right? There are also a number of reasons for using a welded design. But there are some of the reasons, those which we call it as basic reasons. So what are the basic reasons? If you go the important ones, not in depth, because again we are going to discuss all these things in the advantages part. So the first reason is that welded designs offer the opportunity to achieve a more efficient use of material. That's the first point. And welding, this is the procedure, only process, or it is the only process that produces a one-piece construction. Means when you join the two parts, it will look like one piece of construction. And in terms of time and the speed of fabrication and also erection helps to compress the production schedules. Means the pace, we can call the pace of the production, larger scale production scale, it has been improved. And it is economical compared to the other connections like voltage, rivets, all these connections. It saves weight and consequently cuts costs. And that means it is economical. And another important reason is there are no deduction for the holes. That means in the case of bolted connections, when you want to join the two parts, two metal plates or two parts, then you have to drill the holes. In the case of welding, that is not required. And also, the steel plates like splice plates or connecting plates, cover plates are reduced, or in some cases they are eliminated. So that's why it is going to save the material. That means it's going to be economical. Then welded joints are better for fatigue loads, impact loads, and vibrations. So as initially I have discussed, there was a feeling that welded joints are less fatigue, but with the advancement, that concept has been removed. or that feeling has been removed with the advancement of technology or science behind it. So these welded joints are better for the fatigue, dynamic loads, and also impact loads. Further, a properly welded joint is stronger than the jointed material. Means this is the welded joint is more stronger compared to the other type of joint like bolted or riveted connections. And also it gives the compactness and greater rigidity. The welded connections is going to give us compactness and also the greater rigidity, which permits design assumptions to be realized more accurately. So these are the number of reasons why welded structures are being used. The welding connection or welded connection permits the architects and structural engineers the complete freedom of design. So in some of the cases, the uses of outstanding design advancements such as open web expanded, those are called as castellated beams, tapered beams, verandal trusses, cellular floor construction, tubular columns, and tubular trusses are few of the examples of the welded constructions. So especially if you take in the large industrial structure, so there we are going to use the portal frames, especially the tapered portal frames. So in those cases, this welding or welded joint is going to be helpful. So this is about the introduction of the welded joint or welded connection. We'll go to the next part. It is the advantages of welded joints. So what are the advantages of welded joints? So first one, welded joints are aesthetical to look when compared to bolted joints. So in the case of bolted joints, you can see the cover plates, splice plates at the joint point, and heads, nuts, washers, all these things. So in the case of welded joints, these are not there, or reduced, or sometimes maybe completely eliminated. So the structure looks like one portion, continuous part. So it looks like aesthetic. And second point is welded joints are more rigid. Welded joints are more rigid than bolted joints. Welded joints are more rigid than bolted joints because the material at various sections are utilized more efficiently to resist stresses than that of less rigid connections. So especially in the cases of bolted connection, there is a chance of slip. But in the case of welded joints, it looks like more rigid. Then, on that point, if you go, that is, welding does not require driving of holes, right? So in the case of bolted connections, we are driving the holes. But in the case of welded joints, we are not going to drive the holes. So what is going to happen is, one point is, this is going to reduce the cost, which is incurred due to drilling. And another thing is bolts, nuts, washers, all these things. These are not required in the welding process. So this is going to reduce the cost. That means it is economic. And also one more point is, while computing the tensile strength of the members, the net area remains the same as that of gross area. Means whatever the gross area is there, that's going to be taken to compute the tensile strength of the member. So in the case of bolted connections, you have to reduce the bolt hole area in the gross area. So that means there is a reduced area for the calculations, especially in the case of tensile strength, calculation of tensile strength. Next point is, you see, this welded joints are well suited for liquid and gas containing structures. So especially the harmful liquids, explosive gases or liquids which are going to contain these things. So welded joints are going to be very much helpful. Because of there will be no leakage, means they are 100% leakage. And next point is, welding offers the possibility of fabricating new sections like slit beams or creating complex joints in tubular trusses. So I have already explained this one in introduction itself. So in some of the structures, due to compactness and where the bolted connections cannot be easily used, so this will be helpful. Possible. This gives the design freedom for the architects and also for the structural engineers. And next slide, we will go to this one. That is again advantages of welded joints. Continue. I think it is a repetition of the first two things. Then the next point is alterations can be done with less expenses. So as compared to the bolted or riveted joints, alterations can be done with less expenses. And another point is the details and the drawings of welded structures are easier and less time consuming. So this will be very, very important factor, because in the case of bolted joints, splice plates, cover plates, additional plates may be there, bolts, rivets, etc. will be there. In the case of welded joints, these are not used. So that means this is going to help in detailing and drawing of the structure, which will be easier compared to the bolted joints, and these are also less time consuming. So this will be helpful in site also for the proper understanding for the site engineers especially. And another one is properly welded joint may have 100% efficiency. This is the point, important point. So it needs some explanation. So generally, the efficiency of welded joint is more than that of bolted or riveted joints. Okay, it has more efficiency, right? But in fact, right, if it is properly welded, right, taking too much care with concentration, if it is done, then it is going to give, our joint may have 100% efficiency. And another additional points which are not included in this, already I have taken, it is less time consuming. The pace can be increased. It is quicker in comparison to the bolting and rivet. And one more point is there is no noise at all. The process of welding is silent, and sometimes in welding, less safety precautions are required for the public in the vicinity. Whereas a hot rivet may toss and injure the person's working. So in the case of riveting operation is going, so take more care compared to welding joints. These are the important things about the welding advantages or advantages of welded joints. And the next part of the next portion I'm going to cover is it is the disadvantages of welded joints. So now we have covered what are the advantages of welded joints. Now I'll take the disadvantages of welded joints. So the first one, that is more skilled labor is required. So because welding requires the greater skill than bolting. So that's why highly skilled human resources required. Then second one is improper welding will distort the members and its alignments. So if the welding has been not done correctly, so its members may be distorted or its alignment is not in the same manner. So hence it requires more concentration. So more care to be taken in this welding. Third one is the inspection of weld joints is more difficult and also cumbersome compared to the bolted connections. The inspection of the welded joint is difficult and also cumbersome. And also sometimes it is expensive also. So in the case of the bolted or riveted joints, this can be simply inspected by tapping the joint with a hammer. But in the case of lead joint, that is not possible. So it is difficult and also cumbersome. The next point is welding equipment is more expensive and requires larger initial investment. So that means so equipments required for the welding are expensive. And also there will be some running cost about the arcs and current bills, all those things are there. Especially the initial investment is more. It requires initial investment, larger initial investment compared to the voltage or related. And welding at site is more difficult and also requires constant power supply. So this one, because we have to, if you want to make the welded connection on site, we have to shift the equipments from the factory to the site. That means transportation cost. And it also requires constant water supply. Constant power supply. It requires constant power supply. So without power supply, we cannot do that. So this is one of the important points. And one more is possibility of metal fracture is more. So as compared to the bolted connections. In the case of welded joints, there is a more possibility of brittle fracture compared to the bolted and welded joints. And one more point which I have not covered is that is another point is that one. So that is okay. I have covered that one. Possibility of brittle fractures. So these are all advantages and disadvantages and introduction which I have covered. So in the next lecture, I am going to cover the types of welding, what are the types of welding and types of welded joints. All these are going to be covered in the next lecture. Now I will close this